going to get started here. It's about 2:05 here. So thank you everyone out there who has signed in and has signed into the WEX. And welcome to our webinar today that's going to focus in on higher education and marketing automation. Again, I appreciate everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend this today. My name is Jim Woolsey. I'm actually a sales consultant here at Oracle, and I have a background in higher ed, specifically in the for-profit higher ed online space. So I welcome everyone to this webinar. And like I said, we're going to take a look at marketing automation in higher education. Before I get started, I want to make sure everyone can hear me clearly. Speak up if you can't. And also, I wanted to see if anyone had any questions before we started the webinar today. Sounds good. Well, we're going to take about a half hour today to go over a few different things in our agenda today. But first of all, we wanted to take a look at our slide. So basically, it's just our safe harbor statement that essentially states that what I show you today is for really demonstration purposes only, and I'll be showing some tools from our applications lab. So it's important to keep in mind that the timing of future products and releases is really subject to change, but essentially that's what this slide means. What we're going to look at today is several different bullet points. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at marketing automation in higher education. Really, what is it? What does this mean? What is marketing automation, and how does it pertain to higher education? Also going to take a look at what is Eloqua. It's kind of a strange name. It doesn't really roll off the tongue for individuals that are not familiar with it. But once you see the platform, certainly the name Eloqua is a great descriptor of how the product works and really how finely tuned it is. Also, we're going to look at recruiting and digital body language. We're going to understand how marketing automation can really aid recruiting, and also we're going to understand how to understand digital body language, really how to read that, how to take that information and really help organizations out there and admissions offices utilize those digital body language metrics and apply them to their marketing automation. I'll take a look at campaigns and segmentation. Now we have all these different leads that are coming in, and we'll talk about a scenario here and how Eloqua can really benefit higher ed institutions out there. But also we're going to take a look at how to build a campaign and how to build a campaign based on segmentation so we really can get that right message out to the student at the correct time. Take a look at student nurturing as well. This is going to be more admissions focused, but student nurturing also can mean different things. So first and foremost, it can mean, okay, how do we bring that student from point A to graduation? But also it will deal with how we nurture a student through an enrollment process. As you know, enrollment processes can take quite a bit of time. Sometimes it can take a few weeks, sometimes it can take a month or two, but really understanding how to nurture a student throughout the process. There are a lot of stats out there that will show that students who get frustrated in an enrollment process, especially with online schools, can drop very easily just because of frustration or lack of communication. So we'll take a look at that as well. Also, we're going to take a look at the Eloqua App Cloud, and we're really going to break down what that means, and we're going to take a look at ad focus, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. Does that make sense for everyone, or anyone have any questions at all about the agenda? Great. All right, so what is marketing automation for education? What does that really mean? Well, recently, higher education marketers are increasingly turning to marketing automation solutions really to save money, enhance overall branding, whether that is just through email or social media, and also manage multi-channel marketing communications. So with capabilities including discover, engage, and recruit top candidates, we can really take a look at how we're going to utilize these different tools within Eloqua. I'm going to take a look at how we can promote continuing education. So it's not all about admissions. It goes back to that student nurturing situation that I was talking about just a minute ago, but also how to manage multi-channel promotion and registration. Ensure consistent alumni and student communications, which is very important. But most importantly, it's really about how to understand how to manage our brand, how to attract engagement across multiple channels and really consolidate results. And we really want to take a look at how we can automate this. Marketing automation, a portion of that is automating marketing efforts. So automating event marketing, promotions, and scheduling, whether that would be athletic events, performing arts, community events, any type of events that are happening on campus, or with online, any type of events that are happening online, such as a webinar, orientations, and so forth. But today, like I said, we're going to focus on driving admissions by using marketing automation. Now look at a few different numbers here. You should see three numbers that pop up on the screen. Now these numbers are all very important in their own way. So looking at 92%, what does that mean? Well, 92% of recruitment cycles begin online. Now looking at a situation with a typical online for-profit school. Now, students can go online and they can put in their information on a website. Let's use Classes USA, for example. And they put in their information and they're expressing interest in school, whether it's online, whether it's a campus, whether it's an associate degree, bachelor's degree. They might want to get into criminal justice, School of Education, tech and design. They might need Pell Grant money. They might need financial aid. They might have different grants that are available to them. There's a lot of information that can be compiled right in the forefront. So what organizations and institutions use to manage all that information. We have a lot of different pieces of info that are coming through from a student that is filling out a simple form. But as we know within the higher ed community, that form and that information is not going just to one school. It's going to multiple schools at once. Okay, it's really about speed to lead and how to manage that inquiry from the beginning and really turn that inquiry into a student, or turn that prospect into a student that is interested in learning more about a certain program at a certain institution. So it really has to do a lot with managing those inquiries on the front and really understanding how to reach out to them with information that is relevant to what they're looking into and not just a general email. So again, 92% of all recruitment cycles begin online. Now, the 67% number was probably the number that really opened my eyes the most. And 67% make a decision before engaging with an admissions team. So if you think about 67% of the inquiries out there or prospecting students are making some type of a decision before they engage with an admissions team, that really tells us here at Oracle and at Eloqua that a lot of the research and a lot of the decision making is made based on information that a student sees online before even communicating with the admissions advisor. So having relevant information, having a way to reach out to students to engage them into information that is from your institution, or using display ads to really lure that student into a situation where it would reroute them to a certain website or a certain program flyer, so forth. So 67% really tells us again that a lot of the information, a lot of the decisions are making before we even talk to the student. So it's imperative that as a high institution we have our ducks in a row and we have that content out there already for students to take a look at before they make an informed decision. Typically hours of interaction with digital content is taken before, or is taken in, I should say, before any action is taken. So really taking a look at that, understanding that what content are they looking at. We understand that students are looking at 8 hours of content, whether it's digitally or if they're getting the information just in their community. But we really need to understand what that content is. But also going back to digital body language, we want to understand where that student has been and where they are now. So if they've engaged with certain emails or certain on a website, or if they've engaged with a certain landing page, we want to understand those metrics so we can start reaching out to those prospecting students based on their digital body language. So we have this, we understand that students are making decisions before they even talk to an admissions team, and we understand that almost all the recruitment cycles are beginning online. So how can we equip our institution with a tool that can really help us with our admissions initiative moving forward? So what? Well, there are more challenges in addition to the numbers that we took a look at. This is really 4 challenges that can go across the board, whether it is for-profit schools, public universities, tech schools, and so forth. But building a loyal student and alumni base is really priority number 1. Not only getting that student in the door, but also building an environment for that student to succeed, to keep retention rates high, to build a strong alumni base so we can use our alumni in an institution to help advertise our institution, go out into the community and speak on the institution's behalf and really make that positive influence. And a lot of that has to do with communication while that student, before they become a graduate, how they interact with their staff, for example, their instructor, but also how they interact with the school, admissions, career services, and so forth. Also, increase revenues. It's straightforward. Making more money is always great. So we really want to understand how to drive admissions, how to increase enrollment rates, and how to increase close rates and so forth. But also outstanding retention as well. Next, take a look at how we can utilize social media channels. How can we recruit via social media? Is that even possible? Are students engaged with an organization or institution's Facebook page? Are they engaged with information that is on that page? Are they communicating with other students on that Facebook page? So really understand how we can recruit using social media channels as well. Not least, we want to measure individual campaigns and reporting. We want to prove a return of investment to capacity. We also want to understand how we can look at closed loop reporting, really understand how much money exactly some of these campaigns are bringing in from the perspective of marketing automation, but also from the perspective of the schools as a whole. Question, what is Eloqua? Kind of a fancy name. It's an intriguing name, but Eloqua is a leader in marketing automation. It's a SaaS solution, so it's a software as a service, so everything is on the cloud. But what it does, it develops automated marketing and demand generation software and services to businesses, to business marketers. So the company then described as a pioneer and industry leader in lead generation services has been historically Eloqua. So they've been in the game for quite some time, and they were acquired by Oracle last year. So we're looking at Eloqua as an Oracle solution. Our innovative marketing automation solutions really help modern marketers, not just in higher ed, but across the board, target the right buyers, easily execute campaigns, and really get the best leads to sales and deliver the highest return on your market investment. So really looking at that, with higher education in mind, we still execute campaigns in higher ed. We really want to get the best leads or prospecting students, but also deliver the highest return on our marketing investment. We really want to understand that Eloqua is an investment, but this is what it can do for you, and this is how it can increase your admissions rate as far as inquiry to students, and also understanding where that student goes throughout the admissions process. And then looking at revenue performance management, we talked a little bit about that, right? It helps ensure that every component of marketing is working harder and more efficiently to drive revenue. So Eloqua has a lot of different moving pieces, and all of them move together in unison to really make a solution that can help you not only on the front end of your business, but also on the back end of enrollment as well. And I'll talk about that a little more in detail as well. And last but not least, it's all about the cloud. It's all on the cloud. All the information that is in Eloqua is stored on the cloud, so it makes it a lot easier for our customers at Oracle to manage their documents, or really just their campaigns in general, just because it is all readily available on the cloud, and a lot of benefits come with that as well. Any questions so far, or anything anything that you wanted me to go over again? up to the point? All right, digital body language. Now, this was the next bullet on our agenda. And really what digital body language is really the aggregate of all digital you see from an individual. So really what that can mean, it can mean that it's going to track each email that is opened or clicked, each web visit, each form, each on Google, each referral form from a social media property, for example, and each webinar attended are just some examples of digital body language. Now we're going to jump out of the PowerPoint. We're actually going to take a look at an Eloqua landing page. And what a landing page can do for an admissions department is really give admission reps or admission consultants the tools to send out landing pages to either a group of students or an individual student at one time. Now, a lot of marketing departments within higher ed institutions will use landing pages to gather the aforementioned information that I just went over, such as web visits, click-through rates, and so forth. So you can see here on the screen that this is a pretty simple landing page that I made in a matter of a couple minutes, but it can get active with videos, and we can build different forms here so we can gather students' information or inquiries information and bring that information into Eloqua, but also pass that information along to a CRM, whether that would be an Oracle CRM or even one of our competitors, which we'll talk about CRM integration in a bit as well. But the landing page is essentially, it is what it's called. It's a place where inquiry will land once we check them there. And then what we can do is we can utilize that landing page to really tell us more about that inquiry that we really don't know. All we know about that inquiry at that point might be their IP address, or we might just have a first or last name for that contact from a previous engagement that they had with the school. But now we can have our students or prospecting students fill out these forms to really give us a better understanding of what their basic information is, but also what degree programs are looking into and so forth. So with forms in Eloqua, we can build a form that will ask a lot of different questions, and it won't be just limited to basic information or degree program, but we can get a lot of information from a student just from right here. And then last but not least, we can also incorporate social sign-on buttons to basically even get more information from these students. And social sign-on buttons will actually help increase form completions, so students or inquiries are less likely to drop off a form or stop filling it out if there are different social sign-on buttons there. And as a result, Eloqua is importing information from their social media profiles. So it's really great because we're bringing all that information from their Twitter or LinkedIn account, and then integrating that information and bringing it into Eloqua, but also passing that social media profile information and put that into their CRM profile. So a lot of good information can come from LinkedIn, such as their job title, demographic information, groups that they're involved with, to really give us leverage moving forward to start campaigning based on some components from their link file or their social profile. So back into the digital body language slide here, there's a lot of different pieces of information, a lot of different metrics that come through from digital body language, as you can see. And these are all coming in via Eloqua, so we can get a lot of good information about what students are doing on our landing pages or what they're doing on our website. What are they looking at? Once we compile all that information, what we could do in theory is we could start marketing out to students who have visited our website in the last couple of days that have looked at the School of Justice page and are interested in possibly starting in the spring. So you can start to wrap your head around the different capabilities of Eloqua in marketing, and really what that will allow institutions to do is start marketing to just a certain segment of their pool of inquiries. So now we can really build strong content that is going to really lure in the students that are interested in that school justice studies program that starts in the spring. That's a bachelor's degree. And we can start getting them rich information that is going to pertain to what they're interested in. As a result, it increases rates as far as click-through rates, and it increases just overall interest in the school because we're delivering that message that they're looking for based on what they have done on our website, pages, what emails they've engaged with, and so forth. So as when you look on the here, we can do submissions, sent, open click rates, form activities, email activities, so we can compile all this information and really start marketing with a purpose moving forward. We can look at dynamic student nurturing during enrollment. We can attract and convert students and alumni with personalized and dynamic email and microsites. So really what that means is that we could have one campaign, but that one campaign can have several different messages based on the recipient. So if I want to send out a certain message to a certain student in a campaign that is also going to send out a piece of information to a student that have a little bit of a different interest as far as maybe a program or a start date, can launch one campaign, but also make sure that that content is dynamic, so it changes based on who our audience is. So as a result, we can utilize student nurturing through the enrollment process by really keeping in touch with the student, offering webinars, online orientations, any type of information that is sort of to them to really get through the enrollment process. We certainly can manage through Eloqua. We manage our marketing based on a workflow. So a lot of higher ed for-profit schools will have a certain workflow or certain sales stages that they're set up to where basically we might have a student who is new to our system but hasn't been reached out to yet. That might be a sales stage 1, but we might have a student who is at sales stage 10 that has been communicated with and has a little more interest moving forward. What we can do is we can base our marketing based on the workflow that we have set up in a CRM. So for example, with Oracle Sales Cloud here, we might have a certain workflow that students are working through on the CRM side, but also we can import the information into Eloqua and start sending messages to students who have been talked to and show a little bit of interest moving forward, or else we can have a message sent out to students who show that they're not really interested, but maybe they want to start next year. So we can really start building our marketing automation based on where they're at during the enrollment process, or really where their head is at as far as starting school program and so forth. Take a look at a little bit of information about campaigns and segmentation. I know we have a few minutes left here. Really what campaigns and segmentation allow marketers to do is to target and segment individuals based on their digital body language. So really understand how to manage an individual's profile by capturing website visits, email responses, and form information, view summaries of behavioral data. Essentially, it's your student or prospecting student's digital body language that we can start building a campaign based on their whether that would be through our website or where they've been in the past. And as a result, deliver relevant, targeted, and meaningful communications to engage leads and really drive the sales cycle. And what we can do from there is we actually have an example here in Eloqua as far as how to build a campaign, and you can see how easy it is to actually launch a campaign in Eloqua. Eloqua is known for a lot of things, but one of the components that really separate Eloqua apart from a lot of our competitors is really how easy it is to launch a campaign. So we can have our segment here, and we can just drag and drop these different modules into the campaign user interface. And Oracle's campaign canvas supports branching logic that can really follow any flow or any logic of the marketing designer. So you can see that we can connect these different components with each other to really build a campaign on this canvas that's very intuitive, but also can be adjusted accordingly, because with Eloqua's marketing automation solution, we can actually look at up-to-date metrics and analytics based on this campaign, so we can see that if it's working really well, we can make changes on the fly, or if there's an area that that need improved, we can make a few adjustments in there as well. But as a result, this is what we can see here. This is a finished campaign. So we have our School of Justice Studies students here. They got an intro email. Like if they click that email, if they did, we can start utilizing different tools in Eloqua, such as our App Cloud functionality, where we can direct them to a WebEx or to a BrightTalk, just two examples of web conferencing solutions. So if we have a student that is interested, they click yes on the email, we can route to a WebEx registration. We can manage that student thereafter. And if they didn't click on the email, we can still build an initiative here on the left side to try to re-engage with that student to get them to be part of this WebEx registration. Okay, so just because of time here, I'm going to skip over just a few slides here. But essentially that right there gives us an idea of how easy it is to build a campaign. And then what we can take a look at really quick as well is the digital body language piece. So with every contact that we have in here, what we do, and I'm just bringing up my own name here, but what we can do with each contact is we can launch their profile in what we call Profiler. And essentially this is going to give us all the digital body language that we've referred to a few times already, but this is compiling all my digital body language from the last couple months or whichever time frame that I choose here. And we can see all the information that I've been engaged with, how many page views, form submits, just email activity overall. So we can launch this information and we can start building rules in our segmentation that essentially will say, okay, we want to market to Jim here because he was on the website 3 times here and then in the last couple of days, and it looks like he was part of the Poland to Win initiative that we have on our website. So let's send out an email to him that's based on his digital body language and then go from there. Anything about that at all, or is that pretty straightforward? Okay, it's good. So again, with campaign and segmentation, we'll go through this quick. In a slide we were at. So with campaign and segmentation, we need to know who our prospects are, and that's really only part of the solution. The other part is understanding who they are, but also what type of content we should send out to them. But we can see there's a lot of different variables that are present during an enrollment process. There's a lot of different schools of, there's a lot of different areas of interest, there's a lot of different types of degrees out there, so really understanding who that student is, what their interest is, and then start marketing from there. In automation, we talked a little bit about that, how we can actually route our prospecting students to a certain event or an online webinar, or for example, if this was a on-campus marketing initiative, we could have our students be routed to a certain event that we're going to have on a campus, and control and maintain registration through Eloqua, and also track involved and also just attendance overall. One audience, many interests here on the bottom, you can see that we have one campaign, but we have 2 different schools of, so we can see how we can build multiple on one Canvas UI here, just very easy to build, and using that branching logic, we can make sure that everything is going to flow together just like we see here. Also talk about the link tracking a little bit. So not only can we track metrics and analytics through Eloqua, but also we can reach out to third-party programs such as Google Analytics or Adobe Site Catalyst, and also Eloqua as well. But we can get a perspective from the web as a whole. For example, Google Analytics really understand how our campaigns are being measured from the perspective of Google and SEO implications and all that as well. This is a little more about reports, but Eloqua Insights really puts a marketer in the position to gather powerful reporting and website analytics that really is provided at the marketer's fingertips, and also understanding which campaigns are working and why they might be working well, but also on the opposite end, understanding which campaigns are not performing well, and to really live and learn from those campaigns and tweak them a little bit to start a new campaign. Two quick use cases, and then we'll have a quick Q&A. So we have all this information. We've gone over Eloqua and how it can be used in higher ed. It's also advantageous to take a look at who has used Eloqua in higher ed and how did it perform, and how was it utilized, and how was it implemented in market initiatives for higher ed institutes here in 2013 and also moving forward. So Ashworth College is a Georgia-based online education program that ranges anywhere from high school diplomas to master's degrees. The marketing team at Ashworth is really responsible for creating messaging and campaigns for each education level aimed at a prospective student's unique educational goals. So with Eloqua, Ashworth created a sophisticated lead nurturing program which really delivered dynamic, personalized messages based on the student's stated goals. As a result, they had a 100% increase in open and click-through rates in Q4 2011. So you can see having twice as many open and click-through rates dramatically increased their admissions effectiveness. And essentially how they did that is really understanding digital body language and they actually started market after understood a little bit more about this prospect based on what they've done online, instead of just marketing blindly and sending them out automated email templates that might not be really that relevant to what they're looking into. Rasmussen College, this is actually where I used to work, and we used Eloqua as well in a lot of different ways. So Rasmussen is a little different. They have 22 campuses across 5 states, and they have 6 schools of study. In college at the time really understood the importance of using marketing automation to target the right prospective student. And really prior to Eloqua, what Rasmussen was doing, it was a batch and blast email method. So like I mentioned before, sending out just templates to a whole pool of inquiries that is the same for each inquiry is not really that powerful, because you're sending out the same message to every student. It's not based on what they're interested in. And as a result, once Rasmussen College understood that they can gather a little bit of information about the inquiry before they start marketing to that inquiry, or on the other end, they equip their admissions team with the opportunity to send out emails right away once that inquiry came into the system. Because as I mentioned before, this information can go out to several different schools at once, and really speed the lead is the name of the game. Getting out to that student, in front of that student, right away and being the first one dramatically increases the chances of that student enrolling with that particular school. Rasmussen has enjoyed a sharp increase in engagement through a series of nurture programs, whether that would be nurturing the student throughout the whole enroll process or nurturing that student throughout the whole degree program. Retention is a hot button for a lot of institutions out there, and that would be another conversation for another day, but being able to nurture students throughout their whole degree program has dramatically increased retention rates for these institutions as well. And then one more component of Eloqua we wanted to take a look at was the App Cloud, and we'll fly through this here. I know we're a little bit over time. Essentially, Eloqua App Cloud is similar to like an iPhone. So if you put that in perspective, say that the iPhone is Eloqua. You have all these different applications that you can download that will enhance your iPhone experience. The same thing goes with Eloqua. So with Eloqua, there are over 100 different apps in the App Cloud that will integrate with several different components out there. As you can see, it can integrate with social media such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We kind of saw that with the social sign-on buttons, but also it will integrate with Clout, so we understand and understand the really the how that individual might be online, or how relevant they are, or how the size of their social media footprint really has to do with their Clout score and understanding how we can utilize that to better market. And a few different options on here as well as part of the App Cloud. But AdFocus is one that some of our online institutions will use to display digital ads. So, for example, we've seen ads like this. I think we're all pretty familiar with different banner ads that will be on a certain website. For example, if you go to, say, usatoday.com or more locally Minneapolis, StarTribune.com, all these ads will be running constantly, and amazingly, they're based on your digital body language. So I'm sure a lot of us have with this, but for example, with this Globe University one, what happened earlier in that day is I went on the Globe University to do a little research, and then bam, once on Star Tribune later in the day, what do I see? A Globe University ad right there. Once I click on it, I'm rerouted to their marketing information, whether that would be a landing page or their website. So really, again, it's coming back to digital body language, understanding where the student has been. Even though we don't have that inquiries information, we can still track them by embedding cookies into several different websites out there. So we can still track them even though we don't have their information. So I'm going to skip over this here, and these are going to be the last few slides we'll take a look at. But really, it's the challenge is converting more visitors into prospects. So if an unknown goes to Google and searches for example, organic coffee suppliers, the unknown visits the website, spends a little time on the website, takes a look at a few different pages, but then leaves your website. Then what? It's the inevitable question mark. What do we do from there? Well, with a solution like Eloquent AdFocus, the unknown leaves your site, the unknown visits Facebook and click your ad to get a free sample of coffee. Unknown becomes known when they sign up for the offer, prospect assigned to sales for follow-up. Same thing with higher ed. You're able to place different ads about your institution online, and then and re-engage with that student by really luring them in their previous body language and their website tendencies overall. All right, so I know we're a little bit over, about 10 minutes over, so if anyone needs to hop off, I completely understand, but I wanted to leave a little time here for Q&A, see if anyone had any questions whatsoever. It can be anything about what we saw today, or just any other general questions about Eloqua. If there are not any questions, that is completely fine, and I appreciate everyone's time, but shoot away if there are any questions.
Hey, this is David Whalen with Oracle.
Hey.
One of my customers did actually ping me with a question that she was interested in that we didn't quite cover. Up front, you had mentioned integrations with Eloqua into SEMO. So we could talk briefly about that, but are there any other app integrations that Eloqua can plug into?
And so yes, there are a lot of different way that Eloqua can integrate with different solutions out there. So you have your integration with CRM. So CRM such as Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, and then obviously Oracle here with Sales Cloud and CRM On Demand are all flat integrations, essentially right out of the box integrations that work with those CRMs. What we can do with that integration is actually you can import up to 50 different custom fields from a CRM record. So if you wanted to market out to a student based on their area of interest and or that inquiry came through 6 or 9 months ago, but you want to market out to everyone that's interested in criminal justice that lives in the Florida area that has visited our website in the last 2 or 3 days, we certainly can build a campaign that can reach out to those students. But really the important part is that we can basically funnel information. It's a two-way street in between CRM and marketing automation. So they work together, and also it equips an admissions office with the latest information about that inquiry. So with that is one area of integration, again, with CRM and working with CRM, and then also it reports like closed loop reporting, so we can see that, hey, this student was from campaign A. Campaign A brought that student in, and that student actually started classes in January. So now with that closed loop reporting, we can understand that that came into school mainly because of the campaign that we sent out through Eloqua, but our CRM system is keeping track of what their start day is, what classes they're taking. So essentially we can close the loop and really understand that, well, that student came in and basically it was because of this campaign we have in Eloqua, and we can prove it because we can integrate with the CRM and create reports that are really going to, like I said before, close the loop. And integration that is that relevant to this conversation would be the integration with social media and our SRM platform. Essentially, with those landing pages, like I said before, and we looked at a landing page here previously, we can actually take this landing page and embed it in a Facebook file. So with, say, for example, Rasmussen College, if they wanted to start putting their dates via social media, they could build a landing page and have that right in their Facebook timeline or post it right on their page. And expecting students and inquiries could go to their Facebook page, click on a picture, and this landing page would come up. So not only are we promoting our start date, for example, through social media, we also have this landing page that is being pushed out through our campaigns. This landing page can also be part of a website, and also it can be searched organically. So you're really hitting the inquiries from a lot of different angles. You're hitting them from just natural search, from Facebook, from your website, and then also the campaigns that we're building with Eloqua. Again, our CRM being the main integration, and then our integration with our social media platform, which is called Social Relationship Management, allows us to pass along landing pages to use in social media, and all the analytics still apply. We can still track that landing page and who is communicating and engaging with that landing page, even though it's in Facebook. So question, hopefully that answers your customers' questions, David.
It does. Appreciate it.
Good. Any other questions at all? All right, sounds good. Well, I appreciate everyone again for joining the webinar today. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know most of us that are on the phone here have my email address, but if any questions come up from any customers out there, any opportunities, just let me know. This will be recorded as well, so we can send this out to other folks as well that weren't able to make it today. Are not any other questions, I will end it here. Thank you so much for everyone showing up. I appreciate it, and hopefully everything made sense. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I'm going to sign off here, and everyone have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.